Imagine an island so perfect it looked like a screensaver. Turquoise water, white sand, a mansion at its heart. For the world's most powerful men, it was a private playground. For the girls who were brought there, it was a prison with no walls. This is the story of how that paradise became ground zero for a scandal so vast it threatened to swallow presidents and princes, and how years later the promise to expose it all vanished into thin air. The man who built this empire of abuse wasn't a born titan. Jeffrey Epstein started as a math teacher. Somehow, he pivoted into the inner circle of finance, amassing a fortune that reportedly reached into the hundreds of millions. His connections read like a global power index. Former presidents, a British prince, Nobel laureates, and billionaires. He didn't just know them, he entertained them. And at the center of his web was that island, Little St. James. Locals had another name for it. For years, the operation ran smoothly. Then, in 2005, a police report in Palm Beach, Florida, cracked the facade. A 14-year-old girl told authorities she was recruited to give a massage at a wealthy man's home for a few $100s. The man, wearing only a towel, was Epstein. What he allegedly did next was a pattern, not an isolated incident. When detectives asked her if she knew other girls, a chain reaction began.
This is me.
This was me.
This is me.
When I met Jeffrey Epstein.
This is me. When I met Jeffrey Epstein.
I was 14 years old.
I was 16 years old.
16.
17. 14 years old.
There are about 1,000 of us.
One name led to 2, then 4, then more. The police reportedly identified over 30 minor victims, many from broken homes, all with disturbingly similar stories. Lured with cash, exploited, and sometimes paid to recruit their friends. By 2006, the FBI had a massive case dubbed Operation Leap Year. The evidence seemed incontrovertible. Trafficking of minors across state lines. This was a life sentence. But then, the machinery of power engaged. In a sealed, secret agreement that victims were reportedly not informed of, a direct violation of their legal rights, federal prosecutor Alexander Acosta cut a deal. Epstein would plead guilty to minor state charges of soliciting prostitution. In return, he and any potential co-conspirators received sweeping immunity from federal prosecution. The penalty? An 18-month sentence in a county jail where he was allegedly allowed to leave for up to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, to work from his office. He was released 5 months early. The case went quiet. Acosta would later become Secretary of Labor under Donald Trump. The silence held until 2018, when investigative journalist Julie K. Brown of the Miami Herald published Perversion of Justice, a seismic series that meticulously detailed the victims' stories and the deal that silenced them. Public outrage forced a new federal investigation. In July 2019, Epstein was finally arrested on serious sex trafficking charges that could have put him away for 45 years. Justice, it seemed, was back on track. Then, on August 10, 2019, Epstein was found dead in his jail cell. The official ruling was suicide, but the circumstances fueled immediate doubt. He was alone, the cameras malfunctioned, and the guards allegedly failed to check on him. Conspiracy theories exploded, championed loudly by a surprising group, supporters of Donald Trump. The mantra, "Epstein didn't kill himself," became a rallying cry. Trump himself, then president, retweeted a theory implicating Bill Clinton. He positioned himself as the truth teller, vowing repeatedly on the campaign trail that if re-elected, he would declassify and release all Epstein-related documents. It was a powerful pledge. In January 2025, Trump returned to the White House. The anticipation for the files built to a fever pitch. Then, in July, the pivot. His Justice Department announced no client list existed and no major document dump occur. Trump himself dismissed the issue as a bore and a Democratic hoax. The promised reckoning evaporated. The silence from the man who promised transparency was deafening. and has sparked suspicion among his own base. Even a close ally, Elon Musk, briefly tweeted a theory that Trump's own name in the files was the reason for the secrecy. This suspicion sent people digging into a long-buried past. According to reports from outlets like the New York Times, Trump and Epstein weren't mere acquaintances. They were deeply entwined friends for nearly 2 decades, moving in the same social circles in the 80s and 90s. Trump was quoted in 2002 as saying of Epstein, "He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." Multiple allegations have since emerged in court documents. One model, Stacey Williams, alleged in a sworn declaration that in 1993, Trump groped her while Epstein watched. Another victim, in unsealed filings, claimed Trump was present at a party at Epstein's where she was forced to have sex with other guests. It is crucial to note these are allegations from civil cases. Trump has denied all such claims and has never been charged with any crime related to Epstein. The pressure from the public and a baffling coalition in Congress forced a limited release of documents in late 2025. The pages were heavy with redactions, black marker obscuring names and details, but fragments slipped through. An email, allegedly from Epstein, stated that Trump knew about the girls and had told associate Ghislaine Maxwell to stop all this. A separate, harrowing allegation came from a limousine driver who contacted the FBI in 2020. He claimed that in 1995, he overheard Trump on a phone call with Jeffrey, discussing, in graphic terms, the alleged assault of a girl. The driver stated that when he later relayed this to a woman, she identified herself as that victim, saying, "Trump and Epstein raped me." The Justice Department under Trump dismissed this account as untrue and sensational. Perhaps the most bizarre document was a letter, allegedly signed by Epstein in 2019, to convicted sex offender Larry Nassar. It read, in part, "We have one thing in common, our love for young ladies. Our president also loves young girls like we do. Life is very unfair." The Trump-era DOJ declared it a probable forgery. The narrative had completely inverted. The man who vowed to expose the conspiracy was now the administration dismissing its most explosive pieces. And here's where the story truly stands. It is unfinished. Thousands of documents reportedly remain under seal, undergoing redaction. The blacked-out lines in the released pages are a visual metaphor for a truth still obscured. This saga is no longer just about the crimes of one man. It's a stark map of influence, showing how protection can be negotiated, how outrage can be redirected, and how promises of transparency can dissolve upon arrival at power. It asks an uncomfortable question. In a clash between justice for the powerless and the reputations of the powerful, what forces truly determine the outcome? This kind of deep dive is what we live for at Informed Glance. We connect the fragments to show you the bigger picture. If you want to stay ahead of the story as more documents potentially surface, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. We're just getting started. The final takeaway is this. The Epstein case peeled back the curtain on more than a ring of abuse. It revealed a system with elastic rules where accountability bends under immense weight. The island may be empty, but the questions it raised are very much alive, waiting in those thousands of blacked-out lines. For the full picture as it develops, stay with us here at Informed Glance.